What it is to mortify a sin in general, which will make further way for particular directions, is next to be considered. 2. The mortification of a lust consists in three things. 1. An habitual weakening of it. Every lust is a depraved habit or disposition, continually inclining the heart to evil. Thence is that description of him who hath no lust truly mortified. Genesis 6:5. Every imagination of the thoughts of his heart is only evil continually. He is always under the power of a strong bent and inclination to sin. And the reason why a natural man is not always perpetually in the pursuit of some one lust, night and day, is because he hath many to serve, every one crying to be satisfied. Thence he is carried on with great variety, but still in general he lies toward the satisfaction of self. We will suppose, then, the lust or distemper whose mortification is inquired after to be in itself a strong, deeply rooted, habitual inclination and bent of will and affections unto some actual sin, as to the matter of it, though not, under the formal consideration, always stirring up imaginations, thoughts, and contrivances about the object of it. Hence men are said to have their hearts set upon evil. The bent of their spirits lies towards it to make provision for the flesh. And a sinful, depraved habit, as in many other things, so in this, differs from all natural or moral habits whatever. For whereas they incline the soul gently and suitably to itself, sinful habits impel with violence and impetuousness. Whence lusts are said to fight or wage war against the soul, 1 Peter 2:11, to rebel or rise up in war with that conduct and opposition which is usual therein, Romans 7:23, to lead captive, or effectually captivating upon success in battle, all works of great violence and impetuousness. I might manifest fully from that description we have of it, Romans 7, how it will darken the mind, extinguish convictions, dethrone reason, interrupt the power and influence of any considerations that may be brought to hamper it, and break through all into a flame. But this is not my present business. Now, the first thing in mortification is the weakening of this habit of sin or lust, that it shall not, with that violence, earnestness, frequency, rise up, conceive, tumultuate, provoke, entice, disquiet, as naturally it is apt to do. James 1:14-15. I shall desire to give one caution or rule by the way, and it is this: though every lust doth in its own nature equally, universally, incline and impel to sin, yet this must be granted with these two limitations. 1. One lust, or a lust in one man, may receive many accidental improvements, heightenings, or strengthenings, which may give it life, power, and vigor exceedingly above what another lust hath, or the same lust, that is, of the same kind and nature, in another man. When a lust falls in with the natural constitutions and temper, with a suitable course of life, with occasions, or when Satan hath got a fit handle to it to manage it, as he hath 1,000 ways so to do, that lust grows violent and impetuous above others, or more than the same lust in another man. Then the steams of it darken the mind so, that though a man knows the same things as formerly, yet they have no power nor influence on the will, but corrupt affections and passions are set by it at liberty. But especially, lust gets strength by temptation. When a suitable temptation falls in with a lust, it gives it a new life, vigor, power, violence, and rage, which it seemed not before to have or to be capable of. Instances to this purpose might be multiplied, but it is the design of some part of another treatise to evince this observation. 2. Some lusts are far more sensible and discernible in their violent actings than others. Paul puts a difference between uncleanness and all other sins, 1 Corinthians 6:18. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, but he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. Hence the motions of that sin are more sensible, more discernible than of others. When perhaps the love of the world, or the like, is in a person no less habitually predominant than that, yet it makes not so great a combustion in the whole man. And on this account some men may go in their own thoughts and in the eyes of the world for mortified men, who yet have in them no less predominancy of lust than those who cry out with astonishment upon the account of its perplexing tumultuatings, yea, than those who have by the power of it been hurried into scandalous sins. Only their lusts are in and about things which raise not such a tumult in the soul, about which they are exercised with a calmer frame of spirit, the very fabric of nature being not so nearly concerned in them as in some other. I say then that the first thing in mortification is the weakening of this habit, that it shall not impel and tumultuate as formerly, that it shall not entice and draw aside, that it shall not disquiet and perplex the killing of its life, vigor, promptness, and readiness to be stirring. This is called crucifying the flesh with the lusts thereof, Gal. 5:24. That is, taking away its blood and spirits that give it strength and power, the wasting of the body of death, day by day, 2 Corinthians 4:16, 17. As a man nailed to the cross, he first struggles and strives and cries out with great strength and might, but as his blood and spirits waste, his strivings are faint and seldom, his cries low and hoarse, scarce to be heard. When a man first sets on a lust or distemper to deal with it, it struggles with great violence to break loose. It cries with earnestness and impatience to be satisfied and relieved. But when by mortification the blood and spirits of it are let out, it moves seldom and faintly, cries sparingly, and is scarce heard in the heart. It may have sometimes a dying pang that makes an appearance of great vigor and strength, but it is quickly over, especially if it be kept from considerable success. This the apostle describes, as in the whole chapter, so especially Romans 6:6. Sin, saith he, is crucified, it is fastened to the cross. To what end? That the body of death may be destroyed, the power of sin weakened and abolished by little and little, that henceforth we should not serve sin. That is, that sin might not incline, impel us with such efficacy as to make us servants to it, as it hath done heretofore. And this is spoken not only with respect to carnal and sensual affections or desires of worldly things, not only in respect of the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, but also as to the flesh, that is, in the mind and will, in that opposition unto God which is in us by nature,